Okay, Prado that we use to tow the Wanderer is just a stock model. It's got no modifications yet. The bull bar and that is on the wish list, and a winch and a light bar and all that sort of thing. We just don't have the budget for it at the moment, but we have in the past got stuck and had to use the anchor points, which is not the best thing out. Their anchor points are generally for holding or towing or holding the car down on transport when they come across. So they're not rated to be actually used to pull the car out of and the trailer any problems. So what we looked at is, until we get the bull bar and we still wanted a rated point, we looked at this road safe 4-wheel drive tow points. They can be attached to a chassis with bolts and that. It all comes with it. It's designed for the Prado. You see the Prado points in here. It's basically got everything you need. On the side here, it's got all the models. But you need to actually fit these things. So if you don't have a bull bar yourself, and you are going off-roading, dirt tracks, muddy dirt tracks. We got stuck in the mud one time, like I said before, and had to get towed out. Look at something like this for your vehicle, and I think it's better to be safe than sorry when it comes down to it. Rated to 3.25 tonne, or 3,250 kilos, which actually, because the Wanderer is not very heavy, it actually covers both the Prado and the Wanderer to be pulled out. Inside the box here, you got your 2 tow points. It's got warnings on the side of it, but basically using snatch straps and all that sort of thing being dangerous. They're quite heavy, to be honest, quite solid looking. There's 2 of those, one for each side. That. And also on the bottom here, you've got basically all your bolts that you need to install it. So it's basically all there. Now, in the website, which is on the side of the box, down here, it's got the fitting instructions on a PFD format, but it does say that for warranty and that, get it done by a professional mechanic. I'm going to install ours myself because it's just a few bolts, but my mechanic, when we put it in for a service, he'll look over it for me. He's pretty good at doing anything like that, just to make sure that I've installed like things like this and some other minor things on our regular service. So I'll put these on and see how we go. Okay, so under the car, that's the anchor point what I was talking about before. There's one on each side. Like I said, we've used it once before when we got stuck, and because we had no other option, but it's not the best thing to use. It's not recommended to snatch your car or winch your car out of any trouble. All right. Now, there's already a bolt hole here, and if you look up under here, there's another posi hole here. That's where the 2 brackets of the brace gets bolted onto here, and that up there. Okay, so got them attached. That on there, and that bolt through there. Now, I've taken the wheel off because I just found it easier to get up under it. But yes, I've got a jack, but I've also got a proper stand holding that up as well. So don't do this. Remove the wheel and just rely on the jack. You need a proper rated stand, just in case you knock it and it comes crashing down on top of you. Not the best thing to do. Now, it's like threading a needle. It is a bit of a pain. These are actually bent to the right distance for the nut, and you poke it through this little gap here, through there, and hold it there. Now, what I found easier was I actually bolted this tightly on. Normally, you know, you leave it a little bit of wiggle room. Lined it up to this, bolted this bit on here first, so it's nice and tight. So then I didn't have to worry about holding this or the bolt taking the weight of this while trying to go through the nut here, because even though you're holding it here, there's no back pressure onto this nut. So if you don't get the thread lined up properly and it's pushing up against it, it's not going to go through. Also, another thing you should do anyway is just put the bolt through the nut first, a couple of times, just to make sure that it does go in nicely, that there's no manufacturing sort of gunk in it or paint or whatever, because you don't want to be mucking around too much for it. But it's like threading a needle. If you ever tried to do that, it's not the most easiest thing, but once it goes through, it's good. So that's it. I'll put the tire back on again. I'll get my mechanic when it goes through the service before we go away to make sure that I've torqued it to the right torque, and that sort of stuff, and just to give it a double check for me. And yeah, we'll have some rated recovery points if we get stuck, to get us out. Now, I've got max tracks anyway on the Wanderer, and we've got recovery gear on the Wanderer, snatch straps, equalizers, and all that sort of thing. So we've got all that gear. We carry all that gear anyway, and a good shovel. But this will just help us for the meantime before we get a bull bar, to get us out of any trouble if we get it into any. All right.